Hello, Sabine.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm excited that I'm here too, especially since we just killed InvestFest stage together.
Exactly, exactly. So we just got off the stage at InvestFest this weekend. We had an amazing time. I had the pleasure of sharing the stage with Miss Business, and she killed it as she always does.
You were amazing. I was up there like, okay, I need to know everything she's talking about.
Thank you so much, so much. So we first met at Matt's MG, the mortgage guy. He had an event in Queens.
That's where most of us met.
That's true.
And what's so crazy is we always we were all together around New Year's, Christmas, and we were just talking about like a few years ago. We all literally this all started because we all came out and connected through MG's workshop.
Yep.
And it was you, me, Lindsay, Rashad.
Yes.
I believe at that one, Rashana may have been there. I think
maybe,
Aisha was there.
Yes, Aisha was there.
It's so crazy. Yep. So to see where everyone is and all that we're doing, and to kind of go from that, I think Matt may have had about 200 people in the room.
Yeah, it was a really good turnout.
It was an amazing turnout.
Right.
And now just to think like EYL. And then they had 4,000 people in the room.
Yes.
Amazing
experience. It was great. And so when Miss Business was there, she walked in with this bright yellow suit. She like lit up the room.
I'll never forget that day. You were literally, remember my slideshow wouldn't come up?
Yes.
It was something that would not come up and you were trying to help me. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I can't find my slideshow. It won't download. I can't get it on the screen. You were like, don't worry. I got you. Right? And so I think that that's really important because I feel that people don't really understand like how much we all just kind of show up for one another and just really just pour into each other with no real expectation to receive anything back in return. And I think that that is so important.
Yeah.
That's so important. So
it is so important.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get that off. So thank you again for helping me get my slideshow.
Of course, girl, I got you. And look, full circle, now you're here supporting me, and so I appreciate you.
No problem.
So what was your experience like at InvestFest? What did you take away from it?
Oh my God, there was so many things. So at InvestFest for me, one, it was amazing. I'm one of those people, I always go to conferences.
Okay.
But InvestFest was so special. One, because, I've literally was the first guest on EYL.
Yeah,
and just to see like all of the growth, Earn Your Leisure was established. I think I was the first guest, but I think when I went on, I was on like episode 8 or 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so,
and were you the first YouTube too?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't first YouTube. But just to see like all those people in one room, to know that 4,000 people came out to learn about financial literacy.
Yes.
To me is major because I feel like 10 years ago that would have never been the case.
Exactly. Like people are like, that's boring. Like, why would I want to spend time
The culture
doing that?
is shifting, and it just makes me extremely happy because when I started Miss Business, I honestly didn't have this huge vision. I didn't know I would be where I am today.
Okay.
It literally started off with me saying, taxes need to be a part of the conversation. Everyone's talking about how to get money, but no one's really talking about how to actually keep their money. And so I started Miss Business with just educating people and then consistently showing up for myself. Here I am. And, just to see all those people in the room and the energy and the eagerness to learn and just build that generational wealth for for their families. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, I definitely feel that there will be a ton of millionaires made from this weekend.
Yes.
Because I don't believe that anyone is not capable. I believe that people just don't have the information.
Oh, absolutely.
And that goes into like how I even started my business, Brooks Alliance. Literally, how we service clients is to say, hey, you don't know this, and that's okay. You may not know your best structure. You may not know your tax, your tax implications. You may not know what it takes for you to be in compliance. But don't worry, we're going to let you know. We're going to take on that responsibility, and we're going to make sure that you are aware. And so that way, if you don't have to worry about your finances, which is like a major part of your business, you know, that way you can focus on being the CEO, right? Growing your business, doing what it takes. And so, you know, I'm just excited. I cannot wait until next year.
That's dope.
I also did a book signing, so that was like amazing. And so many people like lined up to like get their book signed by me, and I was like, all these people are here to get their book signed by me. I was like, okay.
It's so rewarding, right? To see the love.
I was like, wow. I would not have expected to have all those people, but it was amazing. And just to see all the vendors, to see so many people that we started with was amazing. It was amazing. Like,
I agree. Like, I took so much away from it. Like, you know, in addition to what you were saying, like just the energy, it's like it was all love. Like everybody was there.
I didn't see one person being negative.
Right.
One person like, what are you looking at? Oh, you bumped me.
Right. That type of thing.
Like I just feel like the environment was love. Everyone just knew like we're like a family. You know, we were even talking backstage. We were like, "Are you nervous?" We were like, "No, like this is family."
Home,
So even though there was 4,000 people, those 4,000 people were family. They were earners. We know them, and you know, just kind of talking to them through the university or just on, you know, on social media or just encountering them at events, it's like, no, this is family. Like, we don't have to be nervous.
That was the whole vibe.
That was the whole vibe. So it was amazing. And I'm, you know, so happy to be a part of it. What Earn Your Leisure is doing is amazing. And I'm just super honored to like be a part of it.
Same. You know, I was thinking that like just to be a part of the movement is such an honor, and to be able to contribute and, you know, just like feed the culture however way that we can.
Yes.
It's really, really cool.
It really
so
is.
Tell me, because you said something about how you never thought that Miss Business would have become this. What was your initial vision for the business? Where'd you think it would be?
So, Brooks Alliance, I actually started as a company just to build business credit. I needed an LLC, so I did that in 2017. I was still in corporate. And so I wanted to start building business credit. I was starting a transition, like, okay, I know I want to leave here soon. So you know what? Let me start building my business credit. In order to do that, I needed to register a business.
Smart. So she knows. She was like,
Brooks
let me
Alliance.
take the right steps
it was,
before I jump out there.
Yes, and that's what I always tell people. Like, stop just saying, you know what, I'm in corporate. I don't want to be here. I'm going to leave. That's an emotional decision. That is not calculated. It's not strategic. So, you know, I created the LLC, got my EIN, and it was just there for me to build business credit. So I did what I had to do. And then I really started working on Miss Business. So like Miss Business. And I always knew like, okay, well, that was in August of 2017. During that entire tax season, maybe like January, well, more like December, because people start communicating about it. So I got on social media, I feel like in August or October of 2017, just pretty much giving out financial literacy tips. I also was planning for like my first event, which was Toast to the Vision, which I'm thinking about bringing back for 2022.
Cool.
So Toast to the Vision was pretty much, it's pretty much a kind of like a vision board event, but to the next level, where it's more panel based. And we pretty much just kind of go through like, what's your vision? Like, what's your vision for yourself? Break that down, make it digestible, so that way you can execute for the rest of the year. So we go through panels, we go through exercises to kind of help you. So that was my first event that I put on.
And if you guys never been to one of her events, they are top notch.
I don't play.
No details are left out.
I do not play. I don't play.
I was like, oh, okay. She's for real.
2022, I am back with the events.
Nice.
I miss connecting with people, and everyone keeps saying, I'm waiting for your events. I'm waiting for an event. So I think 2022, because I was just so iffy this year.
No, I totally get it.
I didn't know, like, if outside was going to open, if it wasn't, if it was going to open then close.
Right.
It was too unpredictable. So I decided to put on my first event, which was in January of 2018.
Okay.
So at that time, I was still in corporate. I did an event. I picked a panel of people that I knew that were also doing things. So my best friend, she's in real estate.
Okay.
I had my friend, Passport Cuddy, so she does more like relationship stuff.
Nice.
She's like the friend in your head. And, you know, I picked a few people, like I picked a solid panel of women, and we were like, I was like, you know, I want to put this together, and I knew how I wanted it to feel. Like I'm big on that. Like I want people to feel good. The vibe has to be there.
Right.
And so when I put that on, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I wound up selling out with that event. That was my first event, and I wound up selling out, and I was just so. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, okay. I can't believe I sold out of this event. And I think I sold out of it maybe a week before the event. Okay. So it wasn't even a situation where I was like pushing to sell out. To
sell it. You were like, I'm just going to do this and see what it does.
And so we did it. And like the feedback was just so great. And it was just so like, I don't even know if I had 2,000 followers at the time. I don't even know if I had 1,000 followers at the time when I did this. Right. But I just say that to say that when it's your purpose and it's what you're supposed to do, everything aligns.
You're right.
And you don't have to force it. You don't have to do anything. Like, it just all comes together. And so fast forward, I was like, okay, that January I did the event. At the time I was still like taking consultations with people and, you know, trying to set up my social media, talking to people, I'm talking to people about their businesses, helping them structure them, filing their taxes, getting my feet wet in that whole space. So I'm building up my clientele at that point.
Okay, this is while you're still at corporate.
While I'm at corporate.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm in busy season. So I'm working like crazy hours there, but I wanted to build my business. So what I did was I would schedule consultations after work and on my lunch break. So on my lunch break, I would go into a separate room. I would have consultations with people. And then, you know, when I would go home, I would have more consultations with people. I would have consultations with people on the weekend. Okay. So like I was like really trying to do it. So really doing
I just want to highlight that for you guys. So when you say that you want to do something, you can make time. There are so many hours that are in the day that you're not working, and there's still enough time to sleep
a little. To figure it out. You know,
but you figure it out, right?
You have to figure it out, and I think for me, I talk about this a lot with just growing up in a family business. Like my dad owns restaurants, and restaurants like one of the hardest businesses, if you ask me, because you're on your feet. It's a lot.
And this is one of the businesses that fail the most, right?
Yes, and he's been in business since, he had me working since I was 6, so I want to say since about 4. He's had since I've been 14. So he's had his business over 20 years. Actually, about 25, maybe almost maybe 30
more,
years.
Yeah, time flies.
So, you know, just seeing my dad go hard was like, I knew what I had to do. It was I knew that I wouldn't be able to go out as much, and I knew what I had to do if I wanted to go off and start my own business. Right. So
that's awesome, because that's a legacy, right? It is much more than your finances and your businesses, but what are your values? What are your morals that you're passing on?
And what are you showing your children? Because I always say to people, you can talk about whatever you want with your children. You can say whatever you want, but your actions, they're going to follow that.
Exactly.
And that's going to speak more than anything. So my dad, he literally works. Like, that's all he does. Like, still to this day, that's all he does. Which is why I'm like, I don't want to be in my business. I'm not going to be in my business. Because, you know, he feels like no one's going to run my business how I run my business. Yeah. I can't do that.
That's not your taste.
That's not, no. I like to live my life. I want to travel. I want to enjoy myself. But I understand he was the first generation of entrepreneur in my family, right? So for him, it's like, no.
That's the way it
This is what it is. And I get it. For me, that's not what it's
No.
going to be. I'm like, how can I need to build my business outside of me, which is a little hard because it's still connected to me because
I know
everything
what you're saying,
is,
yeah.
associated, with Miss Business. But, just kind of saying all that to say, January, I was taking clients. I did my event. I left my job February 8th.
Wow.
I was like,
what did that feel like? What was the emotions attached to that?
It was almost like, so when I left corporate, it was, I don't know, it was scary because it was a situation where it's like,
I'm betting on me now.
I'm betting on me.
Right.
What happens? What if this doesn't work out? But it was scary in a sense of, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? How is this gonna go? And if you ask me now, looking back on it, I left prematurely.
Okay.
It worked out for me.
Right.
But in all honesty, I had some clients, but again, I had those clients, like small amount of clients in tax season.
Okay.
Now I run my business all year round because I'm working with business owners, so they need me all year round.
Right.
But in order to service business clients all year round, you need to be doing things like quarterly taxes, sales taxes, bookkeeping, and then at that time, I didn't have it in my mind where people were still going to be hitting me up throughout the entire year to file their taxes.
Right.
I'm like, no, these are the deadlines. These are the extension deadlines. Because I'm from corporate, so you have to follow those deadlines. Yeah. But now it's small business owners.
Right.
It's like the Wild Wild West.
Right.
It's totally different, But so I didn't have all those things planned out, and so that's why sometimes people will call me, and someone called me last week, and they were like, "Oh my God, I want to start a business. Like, do you do business plans?" I was like, no, I don't do business plans. They're way too time consuming.
They are. I don't either.
I don't do it, and I don't know what price tag I could ever put on creating a business plan for somebody.
To make it worth it, right?
To make it worth it, because I'm so detailed, and I want to make sure that you get it and you understand it, and so they should go to someone that loves to do that. I love to do taxes and accounting.
That's another gem. Do what you love to do.
Do what you love to do.
And leave the rest to the others who want to do those things.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, man, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
You were saying how you left prematurely.
Oh, yes. So, oh no, I was saying some people come to me a lot and they'll say like, oh, I want to start a business and, I want to do a business plan, but I can't really do anything until I do this business plan. And I know this may be unorthodox, but I tell them, just execute. Just get it done.
Right.
Understand what your business is, who your audience is, how much it's going to take for you to start it, what's going to be needed for you to start it, and spend money on marketing, which no one does.
No one does.
No, I don't understand how people start businesses and they will spend so much money on their packaging, so much money on their presentation, register business, pay for this, pay for that, but then don't have money to market. So it's like you're saying, I'm going to create this business, but I'm not going to let anybody know that I'm here.
Right.
You know?
I did that in the beginning. Terrible. Because in law school, they teach you like the legality of business, but they don't teach you the practicality. Like you need to market, you need to network. So I've been in business 8 years, but I spent like 4 years just working. Not marketing, not doing anything. So like she's absolutely right. You cannot scale or grow your business if you're not doing these things.
Yes, it's so important. And I just really feel like the problem a lot is that a lot of people aren't executors. A lot of people are analyzers. They want, especially in this time that we're in, they just want more information and more knowledge and more knowledge and more knowledge.
Right.
And it's like at some point you have to just stop and execute, which is why when I was on the stage and, at InvestFest, they were like, what do you want to leave? I want you all to get the ideas from InvestFest, but then I want you all to execute. Because again, and you can't try to execute in the moment. You have to sit down because, listen, Trapper is my brother. He is amazing. Did you see Trapper?
I did.
Oh my God.
He was so inspiring.
He was so inspiring, and I just love Trapper's entire, I love everything about it. I love his brand,
So authentic.
He's so authentic.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how true to the brand Trapper is. One time they came to my house, and we were all, it was like around Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was something. He was in New York.
Okay.
And they had all come over, and I was like, okay, well, since we're all going to be together, it was Rashad, Matt, Lindsay, Trapper, and we were like, I was like, you know what? Let's film our conversation.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
So in my house, you know, I like to be fancy. So I have wine glasses, champagne glasses. Trapper was like, don't give me that. You don't got a red cup? He was like, I am not getting on camera with no champagne glass.
I love that. He's like, that's not my people. I gotta connect with my
brand.
people.
That's not my people. And when I tell you, I just love everything about what he does and his energy and what he brings and how he motivates and how he breaks things down and make it digestible for people to just understand. Shout out to Jasmine.
That's just a sidebar.
I think that was the first time I ever seen him on stage.
Okay. Oh, this time at InvestFest. Yeah.
Yes, like I've seen him speak before.
Okay.
But not like this.
Like this on stage,
What? Where he get? I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's
so
another
thing. You were saying how so it's important to build a brand. It's important to invest in your marketing.
Build your brand, important to building your marketing, and more importantly, just execute. You know, so just to kind of go back to what you were saying. So me leaving corporate, it was nervous. Like, I mean, I was nervous. It was nerve-wracking. But I was ready.
Sort of exciting.
It was exciting. And you know what it is? I told myself, I was like, you know what? If it don't work, I could always go back to corporate.
Yeah.
You
still got your license. That's the amazing part of it.
Not now, though. I'm not going back to corporate.
It's too good, huh?
I'm not going back to
corporate. So as good as it is, as wonderful as your business is and everything is going great, in my opinion, do you ever get weary? Is there ever times that you're like, this is challenging?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think I'm more nervous now. So I am in year 4 of my business.
Okay.
I feel like really year 3 because that first year was more so like,
figuring it out.
Yeah, like the business is there. But for me, it's nervous. I mean, you get nervous when you start your business because, again, you don't have anything to fall back on. So I would always...
And also when you get to the point where you're like, I'm not going back, now you're just like, this gotta work. Yeah.
And so for me, I would have like thoughts like, oh my God, what if this fails? Like, and I would always, and I would be very transparent, like on social media. Like I would always like write in my story, like, wow, like what if this fails? And I'm like, you know what? Well, what if it doesn't?
Right.
What if it excels? But, you know, it just, to me, it just, the fear, I don't know if I need to get a year 10, year 15. I don't know. You are way far along than me. So
because with each level, there's like another challenge, right? There's more responsibility and you feel even more like this gotta work, you know? So it continues.
So, okay, so it never is going to just be a smooth ride.
Fully subsiding. And I think they say that, you know, you should feel that challenge. You should feel that sort of like excitement, which we could be calling it fear, but it could really be excitement too, where it's like, you know, I'm still passionate about this.
Absolutely.
So, you know.
And, you know, it's just one of those things with as you grow, as you said, you get more responsibility. So when I first started, it was just me.
Right.
Then I just had contractors. Now I have 13 employees.
Amazing.
So now it's not about me. You know, it's like 13 people rely on me to pay their bills. Yeah. That's scary.
It is.
That's scary. That's scary.
I can relate
you know?
to that.
And so it's definitely a lot of pressure. But, you know, in terms, this year, my business grew so much.
That's amazing.
And people talk about starting your business.
Right.
But sustaining your business and then growing with your business is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like I literally went from, I want to say about 800 maybe about 800 clients last year to now have over 2,500 clients.
Wow.
And when I tell you, that's why now I'm like working 4 days a week. I'm taking things slow. When I tell you my chest was so tight this tax season,
Wow.
I was under so much stress. I stopped taking clients in February.
Oh wow, you were like,
I had to close and stop taking clients because my team came to me and they were like, we have to stop taking clients.
Right.
There's no way we're going to get through all of these people. And so now you're running against, you have to make sure that the client experience stays intact.
It's great, yeah.
You have to make sure that you have enough employees. You have to make sure that, you have enough resources. And, at the same time, there's the pressure of still communicating on social media.
Right, the brand.
The brand, right? And so there's so many different factors. And so this tax season was really, really, really rough for me. But again, I don't know if I would kind of call that a challenge.
Right.
I mean, it'll be a challenge,
it's a good problem.
but it's a good problem.
Yeah.
So it's a problem. It was a problem for me.
Right.
More so because I was like, oh my God, like I knew I didn't feel healthy. Like I was just eating whatever and I was barely sleeping. I was super stressed. It's always, at that level of, functioning that way, there's problems, there's questions.
Right.
Now, I not only have to talk to clients, I also have to deal with my employees.
Right.
I have to think about what's going on. Again, my business hasn't been around for that long, so I'm still shifting things around and pivoting to make sure that my processes and systems are in place.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that is
rough.
the healthy sort of trajectory of a business. Although when you're in it, you're like, this gotta be wrong. There's something gotta be wrong with this. But and when I speak to like people who are like mentors and people who have been in business longer than me, they tell me like, yeah, when you get to next levels, now you're dealing with checking and adjusting, making sure everything is still working, and then now you're a leader. So tell me about that experience of leadership now.
I definitely am a person, one, I value my team so much. I'm definitely one of, like, I'm a boss that I want, like, my team loves me and I love that they love me. Because I feel like that speaks volumes. Like, they'll tell me, like, you're not coming to work. Like, they want me to be in the office. And so that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Because, most people don't want their bosses to be
they're
in
like,
the
they're not in.
They're like, no, you don't want to be in. But I have an incredible team. They're phenomenal. And they do what's best for the business. I like to say, like, listen, I really feel like they're leading me.
That's good.
And I tell them, like, listen, you guys are in it on a day-to-day. And so I think an important part of leading is hearing your employees.
Yes, that is so
because
good.
if you are, again, as I mentioned, I have all these clients. They are interacting with them on a day-to-day, from my admin to tax specialists to bookkeepers. All my team, you're dealing with these clients on a day-to-day.
Right.
So I have to listen to what you're saying. If I thought that a process was good this way, but you're like, it's causing me additional steps, then, that's not, that I don't want that.
I agree. And I love that you say that. I love that that's your perspective, because more people need to have that perspective.
Some people feel like, oh, it's my way, it's my business. No.
Yeah.
If you have people in your business and they're telling you like, hey, this will be this way, listen, I'm open to hearing it. Sometimes they may want to eliminate certain things that I'm like, yeah, no, we can't eliminate that, right?
You're right.
So I don't go with everything that they say, but at the same time, I do take into consideration and then kind of listen to them and take it on. So I think for me, like being a leader, I try to practice what I preach to them. So I won't tell them, do A, B, C, D, and then I'm doing A, D, E, F, and then, say to them, well, I'm doing this because I'm the boss. No, I don't do that. I don't do that because I feel like at the end of the day, like, they're still looking to me. And if I'm not right, then they can't be right.
Absolutely.
If I'm in chaos, well, I'm always in chaos, so that's not really they keep me together. But, if I'm operating like horribly, like let's just say if
I know what
I'm
you mean.
rude or if I'm disrespectful to my clients,
Then
they
they
will
go-
feel like it's okay to be rude and disrespectful to my clients.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not. So
It's not,
I,
right?
you know, I don't expect for them to be rude. I'm not rude, and so I think it's just it's challenging. But I'm grateful
Yeah.
because I could never do this by myself. Like
Right.
I even think back now, like how
What
did I
did I
do
do?
what I did without a team?
Yeah, same. You tend, and that shows the growth of you as a business owner and then a leader and CEO, because once you grow out of the sort of day-to-day administrative hands-on tasks, you couldn't probably even do the job anymore because your mindset has so evolved
I'm
into the
so
new
bad at
person that
admin
you
stuff.
are. Me too.
Like so bad at admin stuff now. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's gonna take 10 steps. I can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Please do this.
Because now you have your CEO mind on, and so it's just it's a shift,
A major shift.
Yeah, awesome. So I can't have Miss Business on without asking her about some tax tips for you people. So I wanted to ask you, what is the biggest misconception that people have about taxes?
Okay, so there's a few misconceptions that people have about taxes. One, they feel that, so I'm going to give a few.
Okay, sure.
The first misconception that I feel that people have about taxes is that they can write everything off, they can use every deduction under the sun and still thrive in their businesses. Well, not even in their businesses, but just thrive financially.
And their goals, right?
And their goals. And you cannot.
Right.
And the reason why is because if you need a loan, if you want people to invest in your business, if you want anything that is going to require any sort of capital in your business, which is like the leading issue with small business owners, they need capital. They don't have financials, they don't have taxes. And so I think that when it comes to taxes, that's like one huge misconception. The second one is that people feel that they can, it takes money to save on taxes.
Thank you.
So,
tell us about that.
So I think that people will say, oh, I'm making this specific amount of money, and I want to be able to use all the tax advantages. I want to be able to use the tax code like Donald Trump.
Right.
I want to only pay $750, which I wish they stopped saying that he only pays $750.
Right.
He did pay $750. However, he paid a lot of state taxes, and he also paid into taxes, so he only had to pay $750.
Okay.
So, and again, not to say
He pays
a little bit a little bit in taxes in comparison to his wealth. However, you're only going to be able to do that. The play when you are trying to save on taxes, one, you need to make money. You need to make money so that you can acquire debt. You need to acquire debt to purchase assets. When you purchase assets, that then becomes a tax write-off. Once that becomes a tax write-off, that's how you're able to say, you know what, either you're going to have a few options to eliminate taxes in general or defer taxes, right? And so also, actually, I'm gonna loop you in on this one.
Okay.
The next one.
Right.
So I'm gonna save that one. But I do think that people feel that just because like deductions is gonna get them
what they're looking for
to save on taxes, and it's not. It's asset accumulation. You cannot save on taxes without having assets. It just is what it is.
I agree with you. Sometimes people say like, I want to set up a business so that I can, write off everything. And I'm like, but are you making anything?
Yes,
like what's happening in this business?
It's so crazy, and so I feel that a lot of people just have to be more educated, but that's where I just take that responsibility on just saying, listen, what you're saying is not realistic. What you want can't happen like this. In order for you to get there, you have to do tax planning, which I do with a lot of clients. Like if you're a client that filed taxes with us, tax planning season is usually about October. We start reaching out, just saying and having the conversation. Listen, where are you from a tax perspective? Does your structure need to change? Do you need to acquire assets?
Right.
What does this look like so that you can lower your taxes? And I think, that's another big misconception, especially in small business owners. They feel that they can still go by the
way they did things
they
in the
did,
beginning.
yes. Because they may want to continue to use the same tax preparer that they were using, or they may say, you know what, I don't have to worry about taxes until
I make
between
millions.
January or April, right? Oh no, that's a whole nother thing. But they may, in terms of timeline, they're so used to just dealing with like January through April. Let me just make sure I file my taxes by April 15th. But that's not accurate. You may have a different, depending on what type of structure you chose, you may have a different deadline now. What it took for you to file your taxes as a personal is not what it's going to take for you to file your taxes as a business owner. It's two total different things.
Yeah, and it's just like, as your business grows, there are different things that you need to look at. Like you were saying, how you might need to change your structure. You might need to, operate differently. You might need to file quarterlies, so different things come up as your business changes and shifts, like you're saying. Yeah.
So true. So I'm going to, I think that's one, and then I'm gonna loop you in on this last one in terms of misconceptions. I feel that people hear about these structures, and they always feel like, oh my God, if I start a trust, I don't have to pay taxes ever. Like I don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, so that's not true. You absolutely have to pay taxes, even if you have a trust, especially depending on the type of trust you have. Like for most people who are young and starting businesses and continuing to build their wealth, they'll be looking at something that's called a revocable trust. And with a revocable trust, your assets are still owned by you, essentially. So you're going to pay taxes like you did. There are different reasons why you do a revocable trust, to make sure that you're able to pass on your assets. It may give you a tiny bit more anonymity so they can't find everything that you own, but you're paying taxes. And even if it was an irrevocable trust, taxes are accumulating. It may be done differently, right? It may be accounted for differently.
Some may be able to be deferred, but people, I think, just hear things and they run with it. And so we definitely have to do something. Like, I've been reaching out to you for a while about trust.
We need to sit down and talk about them.
But I think when I reached out to you, I was kind of in the midst of
you were in tax season, so.
But I had to get it out. I was like, let me text Sabine.
So she knows.
I'm like, we need to do something, as it relates to trust, because so many people don't understand it. Right. And I feel like they just hear it and they feel like, you know what, I'm going to just start a trust and I don't ever have to pay taxes. Yeah. And that's a huge misconception. So those would be
awesome. That's great. Yeah, and I think it's because of Google University and YouTube University. They're great tools, but we're professionals for a reason, right? There's a reasons why we had to get a license to do what we do, and that's because we have to analyze things. We have to look at all of the facts and circumstances related to the particular person's either business or life to determine what's best, and that's why it's not like, one size fits all. Absolutely. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna do something because, oh my God,
it's needed. It's needed.
Kills me.
Yeah. So tell me, what's next for you? Like, what do you see for your business within, the next couple of years? Like, what are your goals?
Okay, goals for the next few years. So I do want to release a course. So for me, so I do want to do that. So many people are always consistently asking me, like, so are you on YouTube? So do you have a course? And I'm like, not yet. Right. And I think that that's important. So I beat myself up a lot this tax season because I couldn't post as much as I wanted to. I couldn't be on social media and be active as much as I wanted to. However, I think that it's important for people to understand that social media is a job.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like having a second business, especially if you're service-based. Yeah. But now looking back on it, that things have slowed down for me and I've taken a step back and just been focusing on my processes of my business, I wouldn't change it. That's good. Because what I don't want is any like fake pages popping up talking about Miss Business, Brooks Alliance, they, they're bad and, they didn't take care of me, and so I do think that it's important for you to take care of your business. And if that means that you have to take a step back that means you have to take a step back.
Right.
So like for me, I close my calendar for the entire summer.
Okay.
And, you know, of course, people are like, I want to talk to you. But I'm like, I can't because I have to focus on my business, you know? So I wouldn't take it back.
Okay,
it was
good.
what I needed to do. But I do want to become more active on social media because I feel like there's so much more that I could give.
Yeah.
But I really don't. This one lady other day was on my live and she was just like, I had to hop on because you never come on live. And I was like, oh my God.
Listen,
I know.
It's the balance that you have to find.
It's
and like
hard.
you said, the service comes first. You have to make sure you're putting out, you know, quality in your business. So
yeah, I do want to do a course down the line. And down the line, my plan is to franchise Brooks Alliance.
Woo,
so I want
that's
Brooks
awesome.
Alliance to be like the H&R Block, but for business owners.
I love that. And I
So,
can see it.
that's my focus. So I definitely, you know, want to do that. And I want to get into real estate. So real estate has always been like a huge passion of mine.
Okay.
Always wanted to invest in real estate. I actually, when I was in corporate, I worked in real estate I worked on real estate private equity funds. So like that's pretty much where my background is.
Right.
I did real estate sales. So like I pretty much I love real estate, but it's one of those things that I never pull the trigger on.
Okay.
So for me, when I do it, it's gonna be a huge accomplishment for me because I'm really good at business. But for whatever reason, when it comes to real estate, I'm just like, here, you can take my money and invest it and then just give me a return. But actually doing it for myself, I haven't. So once I get started, I'm like a developer.
She can't be stopped.
Because it's taking me so long to just start.
But I feel like it's not that it's taking you long. It's more like you're strategic and you have your priorities right now that you're working on.
Sabine. I don't know. I'm starting to I'm like, am I scared?
Scared.
Why am I not doing this? Because it's been something I wanted to do for forever.
Right.
So I understand the people that go to the conferences and don't execute. Like I went to a conference really quick. I went to a conference in Miami in Brickell before they built Brickell up. And they were looking for like investors, and that's when they were talking about crowdfunding and all this stuff. And I went and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Right.
But one, I didn't have the money at the time.
Okay.
And then two, it just was, you know, a situation where I look back now and I'm like, wow, look at Brickell.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not alone though.
Amazing.
Yeah. A lot of people have that with real estate because there's so many ways to go wrong. But as long as you're educated in what you're doing, which, you know.
I know. Like, I know how to calculate.
Exactly.
I know how to do it. I don't know. I'm going to do it this year, though. Before 2021 is over.
Getting some doors.
I need this clip because I'm going to put it out.
Out
Before
there.
2021 is over, I'm going to acquire an asset.
I love that.
That's pretty much what my plans are.
All right. So I like to do this little lightning round called Right Quick. Okay. So I'm going to say a word. And you're going to give me a response. It could be a response or it could be a sentence.
Okay. I'm really bad at stuff like this. I like trying to rap sometimes and I realize I don't know how to put words together. That's your
That would be fun.
I know how to put numbers together. But come on. Let's see.
All right. So, legacy.
Legacy.
Okay, Jay-Z. Bars. Got it.
I always think about Jay-Z. All right. I'm probably going to attach every single thing to Jay-Z rhymes.
All right, mindset.
Your mindset is everything.
Okay, awesome. Faith.
All right, faith.
All right, we'll skip it.
All right, skip that one. Can I say skip?
Yeah. So the last one is don't play with.
Don't play with my money, my business, or my team.
Okay.
Period.
So y'all been served. Awesome. So thank you so much for being here. This was an amazing conversation.
Thank you for having me. And I
course.
like that we talked about taxes a little bit, but then other stuff because I always talk about taxes.
Exactly. And I love that you noticed that because I like, for professionals, it's always like, okay, give me information. But it's good to know the person and to know the context of where this is coming from. And so now you guys really know Miss Business.
Yes.
So tell everyone where they can find you if they don't already know.
So you can find me on all social platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I even have a TikTok. I'm not really active over there yet, but I'm going to be. But everywhere, Miss Business 101. And inside on all of those platforms, you'll have my website, email, well, my website, which is missbusiness101.com. And then you'll have the office telephone number, email address, all those things. So you feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Bye.